When it comes to editing note data on drum tracks, a lot of times you'll want to have the drums placed onto their own individual event. That makes them easier to edit. But what if you glued them together already, or you had recorded them all in one pass with all the notes on one event? Well, to simulate that, I'm going to glue these events together so that they don't have any overlaps. In fact, I'll make that all one big event, where all the notes are all on one event. But how do you edit each one of those? You could edit them individually down here in the drum editor. However, a lot of people will want to have each drum sound on its own event, and that's where Dissolve Part comes in. So I'm going to select that drum track, and then I'm going to right or control click to select all of the events on that track, and then under the MIDI menu, I'm going to choose Dissolve Part, and in the Dissolve Part dialog box, I can choose to separate pitches. If I had multiple MIDI channels on there, I could separate out that data so that each MIDI channel is on its own event, but I'm just going to leave it on separate pitches because each pitch will have its own individual drum sound on it. And I'm going to have optimized display checked as well, and then I'm also going to check dissolve to lanes because what that will do is put each individual note on its own lane. If I don't do that, then what's going to happen is during that dissolve part process, it's going to create a brand new instance of the virtual instrument on that track for every single note. And while that's not a huge deal, it does mean that more memory and more resources of your computer are going to be used to create all those additional instances of the VST instrument. So if I dissolve to lanes, it's going to put the lanes on the same track from which the original MIDI data came and use the original instrument as well. So when I click on OK, now all those individual notes have been placed onto their own lanes, and all of these notes are now on their own lane, which means that you could edit them individually in the MIDI editor, or in this case, the drum editor. Or you could even drag different events to different VST instruments. So if I drag this down and put it on a new MIDI instrument, it'll create a new instrument for me, and then I could assign it to a different VST instrument. Maybe you wanted to use the snare drum out of a third-party plugin. Well, you can do that, and the Dissolve Part command makes that really easy. And in the next section, I'll show you basic audio editing.